So we talked about removing the source. Now we're going to talk about regenerating the cell membrane. And this is an important step because I'm going to draw the cell for you so you understand what's going on. The cell is basically two layers of fat. It's called the lipid bilayer. And what happens is this lipid bilayer is responsible for communicating with the outside information with the inside information. And we'll use insulin as an example on how this kind of works. So the pancreas is responsible for making insulin. It comes in and there's a little receptor that sits right about here on the cell, and that insulin meets up with that and it says, hey, open up the door and allow sugar or glucose to enter, which is the fundamental basic of all energy the body uses. So that cell goes into the cell, the sugar is used, it finds something called the mitochondria, which makes energy, which is basically ATP. Don't get tied up in the words, we're talking about the fundamentals here. The thing that's interesting is that once this cell starts to oxidize or rust, right? If a piece of metal oxidizes, it rusts. If this cell starts to rust, these receptors can no longer hear the insulin. Well, this principle is true for thyroid, it's true for toxins, and what happens is when toxicities come in, when toxins are present, they like to get in that spot and compete with the insulin and the thyroids and other stuff. The interesting part is too is that sometimes when that comes in, the toxins can slip in and mess up inside and create an energy problem within the cell. So this lipid bilayer is an essential component to how the cell hears the rest of the world. And if that cell is rusted or oxidized and those receptor sites are being compromised or not hearing the outside world, that cell is no longer going to live. That's regenerating the cell membrane.